Hello, everybody. My name is Lauren Brin. I'm the Assistant Commissioner of the MIAA, and I'm very excited to be here today with Emma Stickley from Kalamazoo. Emma, how are you today?
I'm good, Lauren. How are you?
I'm good. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Emma Stickley. I'm a junior on the Kalamazoo College volleyball team. I am majoring in biochemistry, and then I am minoring in anthropology and sociology.
What is your favorite part about competing in the MIAA?
Yeah, I think my favorite part about MIAA and D3 is that you really get both sides of the student athlete lifestyle, I guess. I really wanted to come to Kalamazoo College for the academics, but the ability to be able to play volleyball as well still in college, I think really sold it for me, especially knowing that everybody else in the MIAA is working hard for their schooling and for their sport at the same time. I think makes it extra special because everybody wants to be there and wants to be playing their sport, and yeah.
Sure, you're very busy between volleyball and your studies, but what hobbies do you have outside of that?
I think this is kind of a volleyball related hobby, but over like the past year I've been big into like working out and training like specifically for volleyball. Um, we have a great lifting coach at Kalamazoo who I think gets all of us kind of into lifting. And then in addition, like the vertical aspect training that you need as a volleyball player, I think was something that over the summer I really super enjoyed. Just being able to mix up like what you're doing to train in different type of ways, I think is super cool and super fun and something that I have been enjoying a lot recently, and getting to see that progress from your training pay off on the volleyball court especially is something that's super cool.
Your coach mentioned that you're an incredible ambassador for student athletes. What does being a student athlete mean to you?
Being able to be a student athlete and get the best of both worlds is huge for me. I get to do two things that I love. So getting to study and whatever I want at K, biochemistry specifically, but getting to do that, and then at the end of the day, if I had a tough day, like going and spending time with my team and getting to be with all the girls around me, like playing the sport that I love, I think is an incredible opportunity that I have at K. And then just being able to work hard for something like that, I think is something I take super seriously. I love that I can go and give my all in both aspects of like school and in sport. And I think specifically at Kalamazoo, like there is such a little community within all the athletes. We all know that we're working super hard in school, and then we have to drop all that and then go on the court or go on the field, and having fellow athletes in your classes and then seeing them in the stands of your game just is a comforting feeling, knowing that everybody there just wants you to succeed and wants you to do all the things that you want to do and be the best that you can at them.
If you had to give any advice to a prospective student that is potentially considering, playing a sport, continuing whatever sport they were playing, what advice would you give them just to help them, figure out their path there?
This is kind of cheesy, but like self-discovery is huge. Like if you know that you want to go down this path for academics or you're not sure, like figuring out what you want to do. And then same thing with athletics. If it's something that you've struggled with the balance between like athletics in school, like maybe find it, like I don't know, that's just something that you need to take into consideration, I guess. I think my advice would be to find really what works for you, and then find, I guess, a school that really like inhibits all that stuff that you would want to do.
Your coach also mentioned that you're a leader ahead of your time. What leadership skills do you believe you possess that set you apart from others?
I think for me, a big leadership quality that I like to embody is like listening and observing over necessarily just like jumping into like saying stuff. I think that knowing what needs to be said is huge when you're trying to have a leadership role. You know, sometimes what you say isn't gonna like sit well with the people, I guess, that you're talking to. So really like observing and knowing the situation, I think is something that like I'm pretty good at, like observing before I speak, I guess. And then I think I would say I'm a pretty empathetic and caring person. So like being a student athlete comes with such a roller coaster of emotions, you know? You're gonna have good days, you're gonna have bad days. Knowing that it's okay to feel whichever one of those emotions that you're feeling in the day, and just being able to be there for the girls on the team and listen to what they have to say, listen to how they're feeling for that day, and give any advice that you can. Um, I know with my coach this season, he's helped develop the quality, I guess, of accountability. You have to be able to push your teammates and hold them accountable, but also be there for them at the same time. So I think that's something that specifically in my junior season this fall that I've learned a lot of is being able to, everybody wants to be successful. So being able to be there for um, the other girls on my team and push them a little bit towards their success when they don't realize that they need that little push. So
Who are some leaders, whether it's throughout life in general or, your time in volleyball, who are some leaders that have inspired you along the way?
I think that I've picked up like little itty bitty qualities from like each of the coaches that I've ever had. I think that I've like seen what works well for me and what works well for our teams, and like knowing, I guess, the group of girls regardless. I mean, I've been on how many teams for volleyball since I started playing, so being able to understand like, okay, this is a group of girls that needs a little push when we're at practice, and this is what this coach would do for that, and like taking that and knowing that um I think is something that has really helped me gain my leadership skills, I guess. My parents were really big on kind of letting me make my decisions for what I wanted to do growing up. So, like, if I wanted to take, like, whatever classes, like, whatever sports I wanted to do. So, I think also having the freedom to, like, figure out, um, what works for me and what I want to do. Um, I guess has helped. And just, I'm not a quiet person necessarily. Like, I don't like to sit down in silence in class. And when the teacher asks a question, like nobody says anything, like I'm going to be that person that raises my hand. Like, that's just me. So I guess like if I know I can help or if I know I can do something, then I'm going to try and do it, I guess.
What does your time management look like in terms of balancing your biochemistry classes and your other studies with athletics?
I'm very type A. I'm the type to have my color-coded calendar. I have my to-do list for each of my classes, for all the things I have to do around my house. I'm very organized. That's something that works for me. I like having my time blocked off. Um, I think that without organization for me, like I feel like I'm just running around crazy, like I have no idea what's going on in my life. And for me, it also helps to see like, okay, I have this chunk of time between my 9:40 class and my 11:55 class. It's only 45 minutes, but that's enough for me to knock out half of my reading for one of my classes. So I think being able to find time, even if it's little chunks, is a lot easier when you have your schedule laid out for the day. Um, I also like to spread out when I do my work. I'm not very good at just sitting for 5 hours at the end of the day and knocking out all my homework. Like I would rather take this little hour here and get as much as I can done in the morning. And then in this afternoon, I have this hour and a half chunk to do stuff. And that's what works for me. Again, I think it is finding what works best for you, because every athlete is going to be different. Every student is going to be different. Spreading my workout throughout the day, spreading my workout throughout different places, and keeping things separate too. Like school is separate from sleep, is separate from volleyball. Like trying not to get everything intertwined, because then I think that's when you get overwhelmed, is when you're like, wow, I have 14 things on my plate to do for the day and I don't know when I'm going to do any one of them. It's taking a step back and being like, okay, I have this chunk of time here, this chunk of time here. That's when I can get what I need to get done, and just taking it step by step, I guess.
Well, Emma, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you. So thank you for taking the time to do this.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.